Hold on. Okay, welcome everybody. Okay, I see quite a few new faces. I don't know where all the old faces are. Where's Jerida? Yeah. Okay. She better be coming. Okay. Okay. Good. Okay. We're wondering where the early start people are. Okay. I'm glad they're back. Okay, guys. I'm just going to take you very briefly through, because a lot of guys, some guys started the early start program that we had. Some guys haven't done the early start and are only starting now for whatever reason. Some guys are CFA level 1 guys coming through to level 2 program, wrote in December, all good, makes no difference. Okay, but I just want to give you a bit of a bridge between what happened in the early start, okay, and what we're going to be doing, now. Okay, guys, even the early start guys, you do need a file, by the way, okay, because it's new stuff. Okay, what we're doing tonight. Just a very brief look, guys. I'm just going to quickly take you through it, guys. In terms of the early start, which is this, difficult to see on the board, but you have got it in your files, in the front of your files as well, on your timetable. Okay, what we did in the early start with the guys, okay, we started obviously early, okay, and we covered 3 big sections with the guys, okay, all the ones that they love. FRA, okay, financial reporting and analysis, we covered that in great detail. Derivatives, and portfolio management. Okay, so the early start guys have seen 3, okay, out of the 10 topics. The good news, obviously, okay, is that of course we cover those topics again as part of the regular program. So FRA is going to come in over there, the regular program, okay, and you can see a little bit of the difference between the early start and the regular program. Early start, I had 5 classes to do it in. Okay, because we had a lot more time, because we started early. When I moved part of the regular program, we've only got 3 classes to cover the same work in. Of course, we can cover it all, but yes, we do move a little bit faster, hence the program. Derivatives, we cover again over there, and Portman, we cover. So one of the big differences, guys, between the early start and the regular program, okay, is that it's just the amount of time that we can devote to the topics. Okay, so please don't feel that you've lost anything, you've left anything out. All of that stuff is going to be covered again, okay, as part of the regular program. But again, just a little bit quicker than I would have maybe done it had we'd had more time. And obviously, guys, you know that CFA level 1, 2, 3 makes no difference whichever level we're dealing with. We run against the clock a little bit. Okay, that's why the level 1s are a bit cross with me. They said couldn't I wait 2 weeks for them to get their results end of Jan, and then start the level 2 program so they can just join us once they know for sure whether they've passed or haven't. And the answer, I can't really, because we run against the clock here, guys. And if you have a look at our timetable, guys, we run all the way up until the 14th of May with actual classes. Okay. During that same time period, guys, we've got tutorials. Okay, I'll talk about that as I go through the course. We then run into a revision program, guys, 3-day revision program. So we finish on the 14th of May, okay, which is a Tuesday. That Friday, we pull you in for a 3-day intensive revision program, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, the 17th, the 18th, and the 19th of May. Okay, 3 full days of revision. And then 3 days later, we start you writing 6 exams for us. So as you can see, guys, the timetable is a little bit heavy, okay, but it's worth it. Okay, you're going to see it's going to be worth it if you stick to the timetable, you stick to the program. But you can see, guys, there's not a whole lot of leeway. Okay, is anyone getting married or anything like that? One of the level 3s last night told me he's getting married in March, and I think he saw the stunned look on my face. Eventually, after a minute or 2, I said congratulations, but it took me a while. Okay, please don't get married in the 6 months. Okay, you can go out a little bit. Okay, but don't. These 6 months are your 6 months, guys. You've got to really put your time in, put your effort in, and then it's going to be worthwhile. And then you get 3 months off. Okay, you get July, August, and September. Then we bring you back for early start again for level 3. Okay, but I don't want to see anyone back here for level 2. There's no reason for that, guys. If you follow the program and you work hard, It's very doable. One of my level 3s last night asked, which is the worst level of the 3? He said he's for sure heard that it's level 2. He's in level 3, by the way, so he's got level 2. He said it's for sure level 2. So I said, I don't know. I said, the worst pass rates are level 1, by the way. CFA international pass rates are lowest for level 1. Okay, of course, there's reasons for that. They try and get rid of as many as they can. And not everybody writes, not everybody serious yet at level 1. Okay. Is level 2 the hardest? I don't know. It's hard. It's all hard, isn't it? Okay, it's not an easy level, guys. It's going to take a massive jump up from level 1 to level 2. It is a big jump up. Different way of testing, which we'll discuss as well. But it's doable. I'm not sympathetic, guys. This is not an impossible job by any means. It's hard. It's a lot of work, but you can do this. Okay, but you've got to follow the program. Okay, you've got to put your social lives not on hold. I'm a big believer in moderation, so you can have a social life. But if your social life was that, now it's got to become that. You can see your friends, you can exercise, and you must exercise and see your friends. Grab a file. Sure, fancy. Okay. Jared doesn't like my files. Okay. Okay. All right. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. There you go. Okay. So, guys, let's just jump in very quickly and have a look at the program itself. Our program, the CFA Level 2, their program. Let's have a look and see what differences come about from Level 1. Okay. Guys, very briefly, I'm not going to take too much time because I know some guys have already had this intro already, the guys that started the early start. Some guys, unfortunately, are doing it a second time. Also good, no problem with that. Okay. The only guys I don't, I had one girl in CFA Level 3, a genius, nothing short of a genius, I must tell you. If you speak to her, she really was. And wasn't in this class. And but I did know her and failed Level 3. And was so broken by the experience, because it's not an easy experience not to pass. It is what, you know, it's tough. That I'm going back about 4 years. She hasn't written it again since. She can't get over that. It's a loss, guys. It's a loss. To come down is a loss. But the only thing is, you've got to pick yourselves up. You know, this is the designation. You're here for this designation, guys. This is what you want. You've got to work. Okay, but it's worthwhile at the end of the day. You've got to look. And remember, guys, you're 14, 15 months away. That's all. Okay, June next year, you're done. It's not a impossible. This is not a long-term plan, guys. I don't know where we call it. A year and a half, maybe mid-term. I don't know what. Okay, not short-term. Okay, but definitely it's something we can see out there, guys. Let's have a quick look. Okay. Now, looking at the format, you've got a morning session and an afternoon session, exactly like you had for Level 1. No differences over there. You write 9 to 12, and you write 2 to 5, 2 sessions. You get that 2-hour break in between. Okay. The difference between Level 1 and Level 2, guys, is that Level 2, okay, it's no longer based on, as you had in Level 1. Remember Level 1, okay, what we had was 120 multiple choice questions, okay, in the morning. And then you had another 120 multiple choice questions in the afternoon, a total of 240 multiple choice questions. That was your Level 1. Comes along Level 2 and says, no, okay, what we've got over here, okay, is we've got stories. Okay, the CFA calls them vignettes or stories. Okay, and what each story is roundabout, guys, and each one will differ anywhere between 1 to 2.5 pages per story, per vignette, per story, per case study. And at the end of the story, okay, you get 6 multiple choice questions. Okay. And how many stories do you get? 10 stories per paper. Okay. So what you're often going to see, guys, in the morning, in your AM session, you get 10 stories, and your afternoon session, you get another 10 stories. Behind every story are 6 multiple choice questions. Okay, you're looking at a total of 60 multiple choice questions in the morning and 60 in the afternoon. A total of 120 multiple choice questions. Okay. That's your paper. So it looks, the format is substantially different to what it was in level 1. Okay. And remember, you've got a full story on a topic. Okay. And we're going to go through tons and tons of these as we go through. You've got your story on a topic, after which you get 6 questions on that. Okay. Is time an issue in level 2? Okay. Take it with it from experience. Okay. Time's an issue. Because remember, guys, what you've got to do, if you've got 10, if we just break down the timing for you very briefly, okay, if you've got 180 minutes, okay, 3 hours to do 10 questions, 10 stories, you've got 18 minutes per story, which includes reading a page, 2 pages, however long it is, and then still answering 6 multiple choice questions after that. Okay. Time is a massive challenge for us in level 2. Okay. That's one of the big challenges that we've got, is because you've got to read a whole story, digest the whole story, and then answer 6 multiple choice questions after that. Okay. And unlike level 1, if you didn't like question number 1, what could you do? You leave it out and you go to question 2, because it doesn't really matter that much, because there's 120, isn't there? Yeah, you've got to learn to love the questions, because the 6 questions that follow are typically all on that same, all on that same story, on that scenario, aren't they? Okay. Which obviously makes it a little bit challenging as well. Okay. All sections are asked in the morning and afternoon, just like you had in level 1, no difference over there. The good news, obviously, if you have a terrible morning paper, not that it doesn't matter, of course it matters, okay, but morning paper and afternoon paper are aggregated together, and your marks are based on a total mark. Okay, good. Okay, have a brief look over here, guys, at your topics. Okay, very similar to level 1, we've seen them all before. Let's have a quick look. Ethics 10 to 15%. Now, one thing you'll notice over here straight away, guys, okay, is there's bands of marks now. So they're not telling you how many questions you're going to get. Okay, ethics is between 10 and 15. Now, remember, one way that we can look at it here, guys, okay, look at that, okay, is that every 5% is 1 question out of the 20. Okay, so there's 20 questions overall. We saw that, well, 10 stories overall on the topics. Okay, and each 5% is 1 question. So if you look at ethics, out of the 20 questions, total out of 20 questions, guys, ethics is going to be 2 or 3 questions. Yep. No, please. 2019. Different to these ones. These ones I've picked off their website. Let's just make those changes quick. Thank you. So FRA is what? 10 to 15. They recently made changes. So okay. 10 to 15 as well. Okay. 5 to 10. Okay. So they've narrowed them just a little bit. Nothing material, guys. Okay. Because they haven't changed the topic matter much at all on those topics. Let's have a look over here. It's very good. The accountants aren't smiling, I know. Okay. Yeah. Okay. And the reason the accountants aren't smiling is because they love the FRA section, and it was more heavily weighted. But even in the old days, Eric, the FRA section, typically they asked 3 questions. They gave it a 15% weighting, typically speaking. So, okay. But let's have a look over here. So ethics is 2 to 3 questions, likely to probably be 2. And we never know the real answer. Well, we can find out the answer, can't we? Somehow we can work it out, can't we? But why can't we talk about it so openly? Anybody? Ethics. What ethical standard precludes us from talking too much about what's in the paper, what we saw, what we didn't see? Standard 7 what? You'll tell me after this lecture. Yes. Okay, good. Okay, that's how well we're going to know our ethics, guys. Okay, guys, let me be honest with you, just an approach to level 2. What a lot of guys do, they see, okay, well, look over here. Quants is 5 to 10. There's 1 or 2 questions, and it's hard, and we don't love quants. So we'll leave that out a little bit. And ecos is even more boring, so let's put that for last, and we won't get to that. Okay, guys, you've got to do all 10 topics. I've got to tell you this up front. I'm not giving any dispensation. We've got to do all 10 topics, and you've got to know them, guys, because that is what's good. If you do the maths, and I don't want to do the maths with you, I don't want to scare anybody just yet, but if you do the maths yourselves, you'll work out that in order to pass, we know we need anywhere between 64 maybe to 67% to pass this paper. Just like you did in level 1 and in level 3, makes no, the pass mark is more or less the same in the mid-60s, which means you've got to be scoring round about 4 out. Remember, every question you've got, every story that you get has got 6 multiple choice questions behind it, which means you've got to be scoring 4 out of 6, guys. Every question. Okay. 4 out of 6 for every question of your 20. Now, if you're leaving out 1 or 2 topics and you're not getting those 4, and you're getting 1 or 2, well, you better be making them up 6 out of 6 on some other topics. Do you see the maths, guys? The equations aren't much fun. So you've got to do every topic. You've got to know every topic, okay, in order to be able to get through this paper with 66. Okay. Because remember, the minute you leave one topic out, and let's say, for example, you decided to leave out quants and they decided to be ugly that particular year and make it 2 questions, okay, you're well behind the curve already, aren't you? Don't put yourself there, guys. We've got to get through this paper. We've got to do all the topics, all 10. Some you love more, some come easier. We know this, okay? But those that don't, that's why we're starting early, and there's plenty of time. Okay. You have a look over here. So ethics is 2 to 3. My sense is it's going to be 2. Quants is 1 or 2. My sense is it's going to be 1. But please don't. That's why. Well, the only thing that you won't get out of me, guys, is my address, my physical address where I live. Because I don't want you coming to my house after the paper and say you told me it was only going to be 1 question and it was 2. I'm not saying anything of the sort. I'm saying my feelings, the importance of the topic, etc., etc. Okay, economics also 1 or 2. FRA is 2 or 3. Could almost guarantee you guys. It's interesting that they've added another FRA topic and they've lowered the weightings as well. So I'm almost convinced that there's going to be 3 questions here. They're going to go the full. My sense is the full weighting over here on FRA for 3 questions for sure. I'd be very surprised if it wasn't a full 3. CorpFin 5 to 15. Reading 17, I'll show you here. We'll jump to that in a second. Over here, part to C, analysis of financial institutions. Remember, we've seen that already, but under analysis of financial institutions, it's a brand new topic that they've added for 2019. We looked at the camels over there, how to analyze a bank. Remember that one? Okay, but don't worry about that, guys. If you haven't, we're going to be doing that all again as part of the regular program. Okay, corporate 5 to 15, which is 2 to 3. What's that? CorpFin. I was about to say it's never going to be more than 2 questions. No, it's all good. Whack, whack. Okay, you're losing the faith over there, hey? Okay. Equity 10 to 15, almost guaranteed 15, guys. 2 to 3 questions. I would almost guarantee you're going to get 3 over there. Alts 5 to 10, probably 1 out of the 2. You're probably going to get 2. Okay. Fixed income 10 to 15, almost guaranteed to get 3 over there. It's a big topic, fixed income. Okay. Derivatives 5 to 10, I would give you 2 there as well. And Portman 5 out of 15. Interesting enough here, you could get as low as 1. Yes, I know the weighting is between 1 and 3, but you could get as low as 1 for Portman. Okay, maybe 2. Okay. It doesn't make any difference, because the truth is, for example, things like FRA, equities, fixed income, they were anyway asking 3s. So they're going to ask you 3 anyway. I don't see anything material in these changes, to be honest with you, in terms of, I don't think they've given you any meaningful signal behind these. Okay. I'd be very, very surprised if you have a look at your top 3, guys. What are your top 3? FRA, 3 questions there. Equity, 3 questions there. Fixed income, 3 questions there. Ethics, 2 questions there. That would be my start, my almost as guaranteed as I could give it to you would be those 4. Okay, and then you've got 11 questions already. 11 out of your 20 on those 3 big ones. Okay. Okay. Just having a bit of a forward look, and I'm not telling anyone, and I'm begging everyone, please not to skip out anything because they say, well, when I look for next year, it's not going to be there in level 3, but I will tell you what won't be there just to give you a bit of a taste. So hopefully it'll motivate you. If you hate them enough, you'll learn them well enough to know that they won't be there next year. Okay, quants is gone next year, level 3. What do you think ethics for level 3? 10 to 15. Okay, same. And what are they going to ask you in level 3? The code and the standards, same old. Like they asked you in level 1 and level 2. No changes. One or two little extra things, but generally it's exactly the same thing. No changes. Economics is there. FRA, gone. The accountants are crying already. Okay, the CAs are not happy. Okay. Corpfin, gone. Okay, yeah. That's it. Those are your big ones that are gone for next year. Okay, so these are so the truth is when people say which is easier, level 2 or level 3, they do take out some of the more challenging topics from level 2. They take them out when you get to level 3. So it does make it a little bit easier. Unless, of course, you love FRA. Then. Okay. All right. But quants is gone and Corpfin is gone as well. The big ones, well, they add in a whole new batch of topics that you guys know about being in the investment field, but not that you have studied in CFA. Things like private wealth management, okay, behavioral finance, institutional wealth, asset allocation, okay. And these are all things that you know about. You've heard, you must have heard tons of times within your investment careers, but they haven't necessarily come up in CFA. Because remember, CFA level 3 is essentially portfolio management. Okay, things like private wealth, institutional wealth, all things, asset allocations, things like that. Okay, so those guys. Has anyone here done a CFP? Anyone? Any CFPs? No. Okay, because those guys all studied investment management and honors in that kind of stuff. It'll help you a lot in level 3. You've seen a lot of that stuff already. Drafting RPSs, proposals, that for clients. That's all level 3 stuff. Okay. So the good thing about level 2 is level 2 is a carbon copy of level 1. Every topic you've seen, all those 10 topics you've seen already. Okay. But all 10 topics coming through to level 2 are all on steroids, aren't they? Okay. They're all one level up. It is what it is. They're more difficult than level 1, of course, but that's why it's level 2. And the level of questioning, guys, this is where we're going to get a little bit, where it gets a little bit difficult. The level of questioning in level 2 is significantly harder than level 1. Level 1, they gave you a little thing. Remember, guys, level 1, there was 120 questions in 180 minutes, 90 seconds a question. It was quick like this. Often it's referred to as investment, trivial pursuit. You get it or you don't get it and you move on. Here it's very, you get your teeth into these questions. Remember, you've got a whole story first, and then you've got to go and answer the question after that. Okay, and it's integrated, guys. It's not saying please calculate the Sharpe ratio for us. That was level 1 kind of stuff. Here, it's which ratio is more significant, and you've got to do the calcs anyway, and then I try and understand and interpret behind that. Okay, so level 2 is hard, but not beyond anybody's reach. Let's have a quick look over here. The CFA curriculum, if you do decide, if you've got a lot of spare time, anyone with lots of spare time? No? Okay. You can go and read the CFA notes, 3,105 pages. Don't. Okay. We summarize them all for you, okay, into hopefully a usable format. Okay. But get a little bit of comfort is I'll read those 3,105 pages plus changes. Well, I'm lying. I'm being a bit dishonest here. The CFA, because we're a preferred prep provider, we get sent marked up changes year on year. So I don't have to read everything again. So, okay, I would be lying if I said I did. Okay, end of reading questions. They've got 1,145 questions. This is on the CFA website if you do decide to look at those. Learning outcomes, 471 learning outcomes, 51 readings, and 17 study sessions. Okay, we have work to do. Okay, let's go. Okay, the date of the exam, 15th of June. Okay, again, we've been given a little bit of extra time than we have, that we have had in the past. Not last year. Last year we had the most amount of time. I think it was 21st of June, if memory serves, or 22nd. Okay, but we've got until the 15th. So just remember that, guys. Normally it's the very first week of June and the very first Saturday of June and the very first Saturday of December. So we do have a little bit of extra time, another 2 weeks than we would ordinarily have. Let's make brilliant use of that time. Calculator policy. Okay, the Texas and the HP, nothing's changed. It's easy to talk to the level 2 guys about this because you guys have seen this all before. Okay, and yeah, that's your basic intro to your level 2. Okay, if I look forward here, guys, let me just take you over here and let's see the changes. Obviously, this is more applicable to the guys that are writing a second time. Okay, if anybody is, this will help you just to have a quick look. Okay, try to make it as big as we can. Okay, but it is in front of you guys, so just have a quick look over there. Okay, I'll make it as big as I can without losing. Okay, there we go. In terms of ethics, guys, okay, they have dropped, okay, quite a couple readings. For those that are doing it again, interestingly enough, I'm not sure why, okay, but reading 3 from last year, okay, the research objectivity standards, the ROS, which is a very examined topic, has been dropped. So this one over here, CFA, the research objectivity standards, we used to call them, if you guys remember, the ROS, the research objectivity standards, those have been dropped. Okay. Then they also had, guys, 3 or 4 different case studies. I don't know if you remember them. Glen Arm, Preston Partners, all of those. Okay, those have all been dropped. See over there, they've dropped all of those. Glen Arm's gone. Preston Super Selection's gone as well. But they're not gone at all. Okay, they've just been put into a big reading called, which is now the new reading 3, which is called application of the standards. Okay, so there's no real difference from this year to last year on the ethics section, other than, guys, research objectivity standards has been dropped. And I'm not sure exactly, we'll see why. Okay, trade allocation and investment objectives, those are carbon copies of what they were last year. Okay, no differences over there. So ethics is really the same as it was last year. Okay, quants, the same. The only thing we've really added into quants, guys, is fintech. Everyone's so excited that fintech has been added in. Okay, and by the way, it's been added in carbon copy level 1 and level 2. It's exactly the same reading for both levels. Okay, fintech, okay, in investment management. It's a lovely little reading, but guys, don't get overly excited. It's a small reading. Okay, I saw a lovely article the other day. It wasn't so lovely. I thought it was a bit misleading, in fact, that said that the CFA is now adopting Bitcoin. I mean, and I just thought that's a massive jump. And the article went on to say that even the CFA is now introducing fintech into their syllabus and curriculum. Yes, of course they are. But they talk about things like Bitcoin, the fintech process. They're not endorsing Bitcoin by any means, guys. Please don't go and buy yourself any Bitcoin and think that the CFA has recommended it as a separate asset class. They haven't. Okay. But that's a new one for you guys over there. And interesting enough, that now goes into quants. So my sense is when we look at quants and the allocation was 1 or 2 questions. My sense is it's going to be pushed more to the 2 now because there's a new reading in there. It would be my feeling. Okay. Economics is carbon copy again, guys. There we go. FRA, we've got a brand new reading into FRA, analysis of financial institutions. A lovely little reading. Really, it is a lovely reading. Okay. And that's very likely, obviously, to be examined. My sense is obviously coming out of FRA. Okay. Very likely to have 3 questions coming from FRA. Okay. CorpFin, carbon copy. Okay. And because there's 6 readings, almost over 10% of the work, likely to probably be 2 questions coming out of CorpFin. Yeah, if you can see, look at equity. Equity is carbon copy, yet they've lowered the percentages. They lowered the band a little bit. But my sense is you're going to have the same. Sorry? Multiple regression, they've just changed it up a little bit, but there's not many differences over there. Part of the quant section, but not much. You can see over there, I've given it a lightish color, a little bit of changes in there, but nothing meaningful. The big change is the fintech. Okay. There's CorpFin equities, fixed income, very, very similar. Okay. They dropped the 1 reading, okay, and they called it, they dropped credit analysis models. Okay, what do they call it? The new reading? Credit analysis models. Okay. Okay, but don't be fooled because it's got the same name. Okay, there's quite a few material changes to that particular reading. Okay, so credit analysis models, okay, has changed. There's quite a bit of similar stuff in there, but they're working a lot with CVAs, credit value adjustments, things like that, which weren't there before. A lot more calcs. So it's called the same thing, but please don't use your last year's notes for that. Obviously, we'll give you new notes for that. But just because it's called the same thing under fixed income, it is quite a bit different. And obviously, my sense is that would be some nice sections that they could ask for. Okay, derivatives is the same, alts is the same, and Portman is the same. Okay, so this is it sounds terrible to say, but it's a very good year to be repeating. Okay, if you were, unfortunately, it was a bitter pill, obviously, to have to swallow, but not a terrible one because a lot of the stuff is coming up carbon copy again. There's very, very few changes, guys. So in truth, the material is materially the same as it was. They do have quite a big overhaul every now and then, but it obviously hasn't been this year. Level 3 got a massive overhaul. Okay, but level 1 and level 2s were left mainly unharmed. Okay, and guys, if we stop at this point in time, okay, any questions? We've had a brief look at what's in the syllabus. Okay, timing. Okay, I just want to take you briefly through the timetable quickly, guys. And what's important in terms of the timetable. Okay. Your first section over there is all your lectures. Okay. Well, the very first section's happened. Okay, that was the early start. That's done. Okay. The lecture timetable, guys, is 20 classes. Okay. Which will let us cover all 10 major topics. Okay. In terms of the tutorials, guys. Okay, it's very, very, I can't stress it enough how important it is, okay, for you guys to get that practice, okay, because remember, guys, okay, there's nothing quite, I had one girl that found me in level 1, okay, and she said to me she's been through the syllabus, through another service provider, not ours, and she's also been through the CFA book a few times, and she knows this work. So I said, excellent, why are you phoning me the day before the paper? You're not one of our students. I said, I know my students. She said, no. She said, she's not. She's just phoning for some encouragement. So I said, I wish you well. I said, go out there and... But she said, no, she's just got one little reservation, and that is she knows the syllabus inside, outside, backwards, forwards, but she hasn't done any questions yet. I said, what? And there's that dead line, that no one's talking. And she said to me, she said, no, but she's gone through the work. I could question her on anything. I said, and have you done like practice questions, exam questions? Nothing. So I said, I wish you well for the paper. Really go out there and just do your best. She said, you're not saying anything. I said, I'm not saying anything. Okay, and she was back. Okay, there's no substitute for practical experience, guys. You've got to do questions. There's no, because remember, you may know your work, but they just change something like that, and you haven't seen it exactly as, and you won't have seen it exactly like that. Not even if you do 100 questions, but you'll have that experience of how to handle questions. Guys, if I could beg you, look at the timetable, okay? And if you're not getting married on a Sunday, which you've all told me you're not, you shouldn't have told me that. Now I've got some ammo. No one's getting married, okay? And if your best friend is getting married, yes, please do go to the wedding, of course. But if it's your third cousin twice removed from your uncle's second marriage, tell them that you wish them congratulations, but you're writing CFA. Okay. Guys, these touch sessions are just so vital because it forces you to sit down and say, listen, because knowing the theory behind it and knowing that, okay, I'm going to get a story. The story's 2 pages long. After the story is 6 multiple choice questions. I've got to do that all in 80 minutes. Okay, I've got that. I've got that in my head. But then actually doing that time and time and time again in a practice thing is a vastly different experience. Okay, it's just like running a marathon. Where's my marathon runner? He's not here tonight. Where's my Kosi? You don't think I know. I know exactly where you sit even. Okay. Okay. Anyway, Makosi is a marathon runner. I think he did very well in the comrades. I hope no one's running comrades either, are they? Anyone doing comrades? Also June-ish time. Okay, if no one's owning up if they are. But guys, you can. I had a level 3 guy, okay, that ran comrades and wrote level 3 and passed them both. So it's very doable. Okay. Yeah. So just like a marathon runner's got to get fit, we've got to get you fit as well. So you've got to start to practice questions. You've got to do questions. You've got to keep doing questions. And by the time you get to that paper, you've seen them. It's just like another, as opposed to going in for your first time, and that's not much fun. Okay. So guys, if I could beg you, when you look at the tutorial session, okay, look now at the tutorial sessions. There's going to be one on the 3rd of Feb. Yes. Well, I've tried to make them not too long, only 4 hours on a Sunday. No. So what it'll be is, the way I like to set them up is that you come in, you work for 18 minutes on a question. And then, remember guys, I had I did a revision course down in Cape Town, and I got rave reviews. They loved it. One guy came back and he said, the only disappointment is that I only gave them 9 exam papers to do. He said, otherwise he loved the course, but it was only 9 papers. So I said, what's wrong with 9 papers? I said, have you done them? He says, 9 papers is going to take him under a week. I said, how do you work that out? He says, no. In fact, they'll do it in 2-3 days. He said, he'll write 1 paper in the morning, 1 in the afternoon, 1 in the night. That's 3 papers in a day. Times 3 days. 3 days he's done. Have I got more papers for him? So I said, first of all, yes, I do. But I said, how do you mark them that quickly? He said, no, it's just multiple choices. A, B, C. It's not so hard. It takes him 15 minutes to mark. You're kind of like thinking that I'm the idiot here. And I said to him, if you're not feeding back, okay, a 3-hour paper, if it's not taking you at least the 3 hours, or if not double that time, you're doing a completely useless job. And you've gained nothing from that paper. Okay. And that's why, to me, guys, an 18-minute question, you should be able to do 1 an hour. I would far rather, guys, quality, you'll learn as we go through the program, guys, to me, quality far trumps and outweighs quantity. I'd rather that you do 1 question properly, understand it completely, as opposed to, oh, that was good. I've done 4 questions. Yeah, I've done my allocation for the day. I had one guy in CTA. This is for the accountants. They know how hard CTA is. CTA is that's the honors equivalent for the accounting guys. And it's tough. I had one guy come to me at Edge when I was doing the management accounting module for the guys, crying. It's not pleasant to see a grown man crying his eyes out in the coffee shop. At least he paid for the coffee. And I said, what's going on? No, the other lecturers have told them they must be doing 3 case studies a day. I said, but a case study's 2 hours at least. Yeah. What I suggest, I said, can you do 3? He says, no. He said, but nobody can. Well, they can do them, but they can't, Again, they were saying 3 case studies. Whew, end of the day, tick, I've done those 3 and feeling great about themselves, but not really getting. I said, how many can you do? He says, 1. I said, but properly. And I mean properly. You do it, you feed it back. Any those 60 or 80 marks, I think it was 100 mark questions, you get every point. He says he promises me he'll do that. Okay. And I made him promise me something else as well. And this is what I want you guys to do as well. Not everybody works the same. Don't look at your mate. Okay, if your mate is able to put in 3 hours, that's lovely. And good for him. If you're able to put in 2 hours and that's what you can give, good quality 2 hours, you do that as well. Don't look at your mates. Don't look at your friends. Don't. Oh, yeah, one guy. There's this twit from Canada. I don't know if you guys have picked him up on LinkedIn, who keeps on telling everybody how he managed to write CFA Level 1 and pass with only doing 30 hours. I wish someone would close down his account. I really do. Because first of all, either he's lying, because you can't do CFA Level 1 in 30 hours, or he's a genius, could be, or he's been in finance for 300 years, and okay, but that's not for the normal person. And I just wish it either puts people off, or it upsets people, or demotivates people. To get through CFA Level 2, guys, you're going to need anywhere between 300 to 500 hours. That's a lot of work. Yes. Yes. As long as you come to class with a clear head. Don't come to class too tired. I see some of the guys walking to class like, yeah, I'm here. And then slump in their chairs. No, that's fine. Rather come, even if you're tired, rather come, because you'll gain something. But what I always tell the guys, and I live by this rule, I can tell you, my family laughs at me. But if I'm busy working at home, I'm typing up notes, I'm working on exams or something, and I'm too tired, I go pass out on the couch for half an hour. My family finds me all over the show. Okay. And that half an hour on the couch, or whatever works for anybody, each person knows their bodies and themselves, I come back like a demon. Then I can work another 2-3 hours. I'll get another. Then I'm back on the couch. Okay, but it makes no sense to sit and work for 4 hours at night, guys, 8 until midnight, if you are physically too tired to do so. And if you're too tired and you can't do anything, I always tell the guys, give me 5 minutes. Go over one of the standards of professional conduct. Just read it once, because remember, guys, if you're in the program every day doing something, okay, it's very difficult to follow. If you say, well, I'm too tired, I'll make up my allocation, today's allocation, I'll make it up tomorrow. Number one, you won't. Why not? Because a daily allocation means what you can do in one day. If you miss it, you miss it. Am I right? You can't keep on. You know, it's too much. And number two is, if you miss one day, what do you do the next day? You miss 2 days. And 2 days becomes 3 days, and it's too long, guys. So all I ask you is that you stick in the program. Yes. Yeah. And it's always the most. So what's your name? Of course, it's always the most beneficial if you could come to these tutorials knowing a little bit about ethics, equities, derivatives. It's not much fun to write it. It's still beneficial. I'm not saying it's not beneficial, but it's much more beneficial. And that's why I've pushed them out a little bit. Because look, if you look over here, we finish ethics classes on the 22nd of January, which is next week, Tuesday. Okay? And you've got till the 3rd of Feb to get. It's about a week and a half. I've tried to push everything at least a week and a half to 2 weeks after we finish. Yep. So you'll write for 4 hours, or you'll be here for 4 hours, but you'll do one question. This is how I've asked my guys to set it up. You'll do one question, a proper type of a question, for 18 minutes. I don't want you to go too much longer, because then you don't get the. Okay, you'll all finish, and you'll go over the answer in detail after that. You'll do another question, etc., etc. So within an ethics touch, you're likely to do 4, maybe 5, could even be 6 questions, but good exam type questions. Okay. Let's have a look. And then, guys, those are and the tuts are so vital. I mean, the guys that did it now, we just ran the FRM guys, okay, on a similar type of a program, the FRM level 1, part 1 guys, and it was nice. It was a smallish class, so we could monitor them quite closely. And those guys that followed this approach and did all the exams, did the revisions, okay, those guys all passed first time. It wasn't first time, because it was some of them were repeating, so to be fair as well. Okay, but the first time we've run that program, and it was quite successful running on this system. But again, guys, it takes work. There's no, please don't let anybody tell you that they once met a genius who cruised through level 2. Okay. I once knew that genius who cruised to level 2 and he failed level 3. It's just hard work, guys. I don't want to. I don't want to give anybody any illusions as to the amount of work that's involved here. This is proper work, and that's why I say, guys, I always encourage the guys. Okay, if you can, speak to your wives, your husbands, boyfriends, girlfriends. Okay, remember, no one's getting married in this time period. You told me that. Okay, please plan lots of weddings for July and August. Okay. But before early start in September as well. So you've got a 3-month period to get yourself hitched, married. Okay. Don't do it just to get married, of course, but okay. And speak to your better halves, other halves, and explain to them this is going to be a tough period. You know, you were going out 3 nights a week. Now you can go out 2 nights a week, 1 night a week. Okay. Don't lose your friends. You need your friends. You need your family. You do. You need your exercise. And when things get a bit heavy, yes, go to a movie. Stay up late, have a drink. Okay, so don't lose everything in these 6 months because it'll make you mad, I promise you. Okay, but limit it, obviously, and speak to your family's friends and just explain to them. You don't not love them anymore. You just love CFA more. Okay, you love CFA differently, and you love them differently now. And you'll love them a lot more again in 17th of June, 16th of June. Okay, any questions, guys? Everyone completely stunned? What do you mean? With pleasure. So just in terms of that, guys, so those notes are... they're dropping you now, Jared. Yep. Sorry? What's that? 5 months, yes. Did I say 6? Okay. So, well, we already do have 6. We've got Jan, Feb, March, April, May, and June. Okay, so now if you want... Now, so Jan, you want to tell me is half gone. Okay, and June, you're right in the middle of, yeah. Okay, so... To me, I always like to look on the upside of things and say it's 6 months. But remember, in half a month, it's only 5. It's easier to work with days, isn't it? Okay. But remember, and that's why I say, guys, go home tonight. Set yourself a study schedule up. And don't say, well, you know what, we didn't do so much new stuff tonight, so I'll do the schedule next Tuesday when I come again. Guys, time flies like this. You guys know this. You've done this all before. I know you've all done level 1. At least, bless you. Okay, so this is not a new experience for you guys. Okay, so guys, you've really got to just put your effort in now. From day 1, okay, and it's hard. It's hard. You know, I don't want to stand up here and say to you, this is going to be a walk in the park. This is hard. Is this the worst level of the 3? I don't know. Does it make any difference? I told my level 3 guy who was so intent on trying to convince me that level 2 was the hardest, because that's one he's got already. I said, what difference does it make? You've got to work hard. You want to get this thing, you're going to work hard. It is what it is. Okay. And you guys are all here. The fact that you're here to work hard. I applaud your commitment. Okay. Any questions? So, Jared, in terms of that, just in terms of answer, Jared asked in terms of, well, what about those guys that have come to the early start program here and have already seen FRA? Well, you've got 2 options. I do it all again, guys. So I must tell you, in terms of my level 3 guys, I did private wealth with them as part of their early start program, and every single guy was here last night again for private wealth the second time. So I asked them, why are you all here? I mean, it's nice to see everybody, but, you know, and they said it's just so good to do it a second time. But having said that, for the chartered accountants in the room, I don't know, seem to have a disproportionate number of chartered accountants in level 2 than level 3. I don't think I've got any level 3, or maybe 1. How many chartered accountants have you got? CAs? Don't be embarrassed, guys. It's not so bad. Okay. And I know you're lying, because I know Yarrick is a CA, and his hands are right down there. Okay, I don't know why. Don't have to be embarrassed, guys. It's also a good designation. Okay. I've got one as well, by the way, so I'm in there with you. Okay. I always get a lot of flack. Which one do I put first, CA or CFA on my card? So I always say I put CFA because that's what I'm doing. That's the most relevant to me at the moment. But I did get my CA first, and it did open a lot of doors. So don't please, there's a lovely designation as well. CFA is as good, all good. Okay, so guys, we're in for a ton of work. But in terms of whether or not you want to attend those lectures again, like for example, when we do FRA again here, completely up to you. It'll be, am I going to introduce anything brand new that you haven't heard before? No. I can't make up new stuff. So, what's that? I'll try to change the jokes, but that's yeah. Jokes will have to work on a bit. Okay. My kids telling me that all my jokes anyway are dad jokes, and they just so yeah. Okay, guys, please keep this timetable front and foremost. Okay, there's no surprises here. I'm not going to change anything. Very, very unlikely that I'm going to change anything. It's been set up already 6 months ago, so all the lecturers are already in place for everything. Okay. Good news, obviously, guys, is that you do get new lecturers for a lot of your topics. Okay. If I just take you through them very, very briefly, and after this we'll take ourselves just a little break before we carry on. If we have a look over here, guys, okay, ethics is me. Equities, which is coming next, is Kurbis Sadias, is a famous equity analyst. Those that know him, he's outstanding. Derivatives, we've got a new guy coming, a derivative specialist guy called Carl Vinocure. Fixed income is the fixed income king, Mohammed Ishmael. Those you guys have heard of him. Okay, Mohammed's outstanding. FRA, you've got me. CorpFin, you've got Paul Burkett, runs his own private equity practice, also outstanding. Portman, you've got the excellent Rob Starkey, also outstanding. Alts is Kurbis. Quants is me. No one else wants to do it. Okay, but Quants is lovely, guys. We're going to learn to love Quants just a little bit. And Ecos is Rob Starkey back here. So you've got a lovely group of lecturers. And guys, I just really ask you just to enjoy the lecturers, because you know my Kaya class next door, when I introduced a new lecturer, they said, "Oh, can't we have you back all the time?" And I said, "No, you don't want me back all the time." Okay, I lecture in a very certain style, and each other lecturer brings another wonderful style to the classroom, and you can gain from everybody. Okay, some like my style, it's a bit slower. Some like Paul's style, it's a bit quicker. Everybody will like something different. But please, I had my level 3 guys the other day, and the very first tutorial, I took that tutorial, and strategically I placed my tutorial lecturer in the front row, the guy that was going to do the tutorials after, from tutorial 2 through till 8. And I finished the tutorial and I said to the guys, okay, guys, you see the guy here in the front? His name is so-and-so. I won't give you his name. Okay, he's not with us anymore. But I said, this is so-and-so, and he's going to be taking the tutorials from next week onwards. I specifically had him in the class to be able to learn how to do it. He is a CFA charter holder himself, and he'll be doing it going forward. So I said, please welcome so-and-so to the class. And one of the students got up at the back and said, can I say something? So I said, yeah. They said, you know, very nice, and I'm sure he's a lovely guy. And he was sitting right there. Not that they could give, you know, I'm sure he's a lovely guy, and he's a CFA charter holder, and that's all very lovely. But we don't actually want him. We'd rather have you. I said, just sit down, please. And I enforced him upon the class, okay? And he was good. And again, guys, just please treat everybody with. My CFA level 2 class 2 years ago destroyed the FRA lecturer. I don't know if you guys were in that class. One or two of you guys. Okay. Yarik's saying nothing. I'm not blaming him, but we had a CA that came in and got destroyed. I had to come in and salvage the pieces after that. Please treat all your lecturers with great deference and respect. They are all outstanding. Okay, we finally got to a team that I'm really, really excited and happy about. But as I say, guys, each lecturer will bring something different to the party. Embrace that, enjoy that, and always remember, guys. I always tell the guys, I'm going nowhere. I head up the program, so if you've got any questions, any help you need, you're always more than welcome to approach me as well, guys. I typically don't. Remember, the problem was the early start was mainly me. So. Okay, Rob. And typically, guys, I don't give feedback. It's maybe something we can introduce to give a bit of a feedback sheet just to make sure everybody's on track. But generally, what I find, to be honest with you, is that if a guy's bad, if a guy's good and outstanding, I don't normally hear about that from the class. I'm not blaming anybody. I'm not criticizing anybody. But if a guy's good, the class sails on smoothly. If a guy's bad, boy, do I hear. And I didn't hear too much. So, but maybe, just maybe, it might be time to introduce it. So, and guys, please, I beg of you, I always tell my guys, okay, I'm a father of 5 children, okay, so the reason I bring that up is a lot of guys say, can I ask a question? Can I, out of fear of offending me? You can't. There's nothing you can say, okay, that can offend me more than my children already have. Promise. Okay, but all I do ask of you guys is I ask for 2 things. Number one, if you've got any criticisms, please bring them to the table. You know, we're all growing, we're all learning. You know, some lecturers are better, some, if you know, and if we can improve, we're striving for that. We're striving for improvement, but just make it constructive. That's what I ask for. My kids don't make it constructive, that I can tell you. But please don't feel shy. If there's anything that you do want to say, you feel you want the notes out earlier, you feel you want more questions, you feel this, you feel that, you feel this guy was just an absolutely terrible lecturer, including myself, please come and tell me, and we can work through that. We just try and, okay, so I really do love constructive criticism. Okay, and please don't be fearful of saying anything that might offend me. Okay, as I say, I've got a 2-year-old boy, a 5-year-old girl, twin boys, 12-year-olds. Okay, and there's nothing that twins don't get up to, I can promise you that, and a 15-year-old boy. So I've heard it all. I think I've heard. I get surprised every day. I really do. But okay, please let's bring everything to the table and let's all work together, guys. At this point in time, it's around about 7:10, around about there. Take about, just to give you the rest of what we're going to do for the rest of the evening. Take about 10-15 minutes. Just to clear your heads, take a bit of a break. Then what we'll do when we come back is I'm just going to get a start into ethics. Now, I'm not going to do too much work. I'm going to have a brief look at the code and the standards. It'll probably take us around about an hour and a bit, upon which we will close the session tonight. It'll be a bit of a shorter session, and we'll finish off ethics next week. So as we stand now, guys, another little bit of admin, guys. Sorry, I'm going to take 2 more minutes of your time. Guys, please park anywhere you like in the Santon thing. A lot of guys like to park next door. I don't know what that's called, okay? But if you park next door in that lot over there, you can literally just walk across here. It might be easier for you. Michelangelo or whatever. Square, all good, okay? Whatever you like, and we give you free tickets to get out. Please, if you leave here without your ticket, Santon parking is expensive. These are free, so please don't leave without getting your ticket. Okay, we do provide those for free, obviously. Another little point of admin, guys. Okay, it's all coming back to me now, is we form a bit of a WhatsApp group. Most of the guys are on already. If you are not on the WhatsApp group for level 2, okay, I'm going to hand around this form again. In fact, if you put your name over here, I'll pick up again who's not on and I'll put you on. It's a bit of a support group that we use for the different levels, just to make sure everybody's got all the information that they need. Okay, just a little bit of decorum required on the WhatsApp groups, guys. Please, 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 please. Keep the postings to the WhatsApp group to investment-related topics. Okay, I'll do most of the posting anyway. I remind you about classes. I remind you about times, various things that come out. If you've got a nice investment article, please let us know about that. That's lovely. Investment jokes are also welcome. Please keep them clean, not political. Not, yeah, it's a bit of a non-denominational classes, guys. We love everybody. Okay, don't post political. If you've got a political message to send home, don't post it on this group. Okay, we love everybody here. Okay, we had a bit of an issue last year. Someone was posting nasty stuff about Jacob Zuma, which 98% of the group found very funny, but one guy took great offense. Okay, so let's please just keep that off the. Okay, keep that kind of stuff off. It might be funny, and you might think everybody hates Jacob Zuma. Okay, but not everybody did, apparently. So we're going to keep the group as another thing. Family things like that. If your cat has has babies, your dog has babies, it's a huge congratulations. to you and the dog and the cat. But please don't post us pictures. I don't think people are. Okay, form your own pet lovers group and post over there. But guys, please, because the problem is if the group then becomes too crash, I use that word very, okay, a bit too trashy, then people don't want to, people start to take themselves off, and that's not the intention. The intention is to stay on and get all the information that you need. If anyone's got something from the CFA that they've heard, please post that to the group as well. Okay, guys, take till about 7:30 now. It's about 10 past, 11 past 7. They take till I'm starting religiously at 7:30, and we will work for around about an hour and close up at about 8:30.